Abba Yahuwah, we bless you tonight. We thank you for your son, Yahushua. We thank you for all that you do for us, both small and great. And we just lift our hands to you and want to show our love to you by keeping your commandments. And we thank you for the Ruach, giving us great and mighty things that we can put into our everyday walk of life. B'Shem Yahushua, amen. All right, I'm on this side tonight. I asked y'all a question last week. What was it? Nope, that's not the question.
What's the difference when the world puts their hands up and followers?
What's the difference when believers put their hands up and the world puts their hands up? Anybody else want to?
Our praise, the lifting of our hands is not our own victory. That's what I think.
Say that again.
The lifting of our hands as a believer is not is to Him, and in the world when you lift your hands, it's your own. Look at me. Look what I did.
Yeah, you're warm. Anybody else? But before I get started, I want to say something about some people take things too personal. And so I want to tell you about that. What do I mean by taking things too personal? Taking things too personal means I get angry, I get mad because somebody said something about me or at me. All right, and I'm going to give you a perfect example of how I handle this. I'm a musician, correct? I play guitar, and sometimes I think I got it going on. But I'm at the studio, and Mr. Robert will hit the button that says, it ain't happening. Should I get mad and quit? Is it a personal attack? It's just, this thing is not working. See, that's why you need to start taking things. Quit taking things so personal. Everything ain't at you. It's just, it means that what you're doing is not working. It doesn't mean you're a bad person, or doesn't mean I'm a bad guitar player. It just means that piece ain't fitting this music. So what do? I go back and try something different. See, that's what I mean. Quit taking things too personal. Doesn't mean you're a bad person. It just means what you're doing is not working. It's not fitting. Try something else. How many see that? This is very important in your journey. Keep you from being depressed and all these other things when you think people are at you, but they're just trying to tell you what you're doing ain't working. Try something different. See, doesn't mean you're a bad person. It just means what you're doing ain't. I'm in there playing and I'm got my eyes shut and and he hits the button, boom, it ain't working. So do I get up and walk out? No, he's trying to get the best out of me, but what I'm playing ain't working. How many see that? Yeah. So what I do, I go say, all right, give me a minute. I pick up the guitar and I start looking for something different. And when I find something different that he likes, he says, yeah, now that's working. It wasn't a personal attack. It was just something that I was playing didn't fit the music. And that's where you need to look at life. So many people think everything's against me. No. Some things just mean what you're doing is not working. How many see that? This will help you in your journey. We need to realize that everything is not a personal attack. It just means in order to make you better, I got to show what's worse about you. If you were in the military, when something wasn't happening, what did they might tell you, get out and give me 10. It doesn't mean you're a bad soldier. You just messed up. So when you get it right, they get you to the next level. See? So we can't be depressed over when somebody says, oh, that ain't no good. Okay, I'll try something different. And so I'm in the studio. Yeah, I'm thinking, I'm rocking Daniel. And he says, bloop. And I'm thinking, oh no, I'd give it my best. And he said, it ain't working in this piece. So I don't get mad and walk out the studio. I go find a different piece to play. How many see that? This will help you in your journey. You need to know when things are personal and when a person is trying to help you. Always remember, I used to tell my kids, And this is what you need to think about in life. Am I trying to hurt you or am I trying to help you? Sometimes in order to help you, it's got to be a negative thing. Just think. When Yahushua, Peter was doing his thing and they said, no, you ain't gonna do this. What did he say? Well, was he saying Peter was? No, he was telling Peter what you're thinking is not correct. Because Peter was one of his greatest disciples, but he had to straighten him out. It wasn't a personal attack. It was, Peter, what you're saying, hey, you're on the wrong side of this thing. Sometimes we do that. We get on the wrong side of things because people say, oh, you didn't do this right. Well, you should say, what advice do you have for me that I can be better at it? Instead of getting mad and getting rocks in your jaws and all of that, okay? Stop. And the way you think, no, you got something personal, you got rocks in your jaws. You're angry. You don't want to be, because no. See, that's an image of saying, I'm perfect. No, you're not perfect. And once you get to see that, it'll help you leaps and bounds. See, because when I go to the studio, he will hit that button in a minute on me. I don't mind, because if it ain't fitting, it just ain't fitting. I want the best. I don't know, just want what I'm playing just because I'm playing it. No, I want what sounds best. When y'all hear these songs on, we've been through the mill. Sometimes he says it ain't working. Sometimes I say yes it is. See, but it's not a personal attack. It's just about, is this fitting in the music? So we need to look at life this way. This will help us to not be depressed, not be angry all the time. See, we don't want to be angry all the time because that's not the way he wants us to be. How many see that? All right. I asked you a question. What's the difference between hands up on a believer and hands up on the world? Anybody else want to try? Think about it. You're going to like it. I guarantee it, Chris. You're going to like it. Okay, I'll tell you. The difference between when a believer raises his hands and the world raises their hands is a believer raises his hands to control the outcome. Did you hear me? This is what faith does. It controls the outcome. The world holds up its hands after the outcome. Good after the outcome. There was a big game just happened last Monday, and the winners went, but that was after the outcome. We do it, raise our hands before to control the outcome. How many see that? Listen to me. This is very key in this journey. Sometimes faith seems mysterious in the soul level. But we're going to make it real plain tonight so you can see why you need to raise those hands and quote your scripture. Say, this is what I do. In the name of Yahushua HaMashiach, it is written. Then I quote a scripture, and then I make my request known to Yahweh. Let's go to Philippians 4 and 6. So this is the difference. We raise our hands to control the outcome. They raise their hands after the outcome. And when the world tries to control the outcome, what do we call that? Huh? Kim's on it. What's another word? Starts with an R. We call it riot. We call it. You got it, Kim. Come on with it. What's another word for manipulation? Starts with an R, brother. All right, I'll tell you. When they control the outcome, We call it rigged.
Rigged. Okay. Yeah.
Rigged. See, when they control the outcome, we call it rigged. But when we put our hands up and control the outcome, we call it what? In other words, starts with an R.
Rejoice.
And Abraham believed Yahweh, and it was counted unto him for
Righteousness.
So when we hold up our hands and quote a scripture, it's accounted unto us for righteousness, and we do it so we can control the outcome. This is why faith without works is dead. You may believe something, but if you don't do something about it, it's going nowhere. So that's why we need to believe something, then raise our hands and let the scripture come out of our mouth. 2 or 3 witnesses, correct? So we've connected. Now I want to prove it to you. Let's go to, I'm sorry.
Philippians 4:6. Be careful for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication, with thanksgiving, let your requests be known unto Yahweh.
See how important Thanksgiving is? 1 Thessalonians 5:18, it says, in everything give thanks. This is the will of Yahuwah, Mashiach, Yahushua, concerning us. So whatever you do, make sure you put some thanksgiving in there. It shows him that, hey, we believe that he's in total control. Now, let's go to Hebrews chapter 11, start at verse 1.
All right, Hebrews 11, beginning in verse 1. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. For by it the elders obtained a good report. Through faith we understand that the worlds were framed by the word of Elohim, so that things which are seen were not made of things which do appear. For by faith Abel offered unto Yahweh a more excellent sacrifice than
All right,
Cain.
hold it right there. How, you see how Abel was controlling the outcome? By faith, he not only believed, but he did something. He brought the proper sacrifice, and it was counted unto him for righteousness. So he controlled the outcome. And that's why the just shall live by faith and not by these 2 balls in front of your head. Because when I raise my hands, as Abraham did, as many did, they control the outcome. That's what faith and works does. It helps us control the outcome. All right, keep reading.
By which he obtained witness that he was righteous, Yahweh testifying of his gifts, and by it he being dead yet speaks. By faith Enoch was translated that he should not see death, and was not found, because Yahweh had translated him, for before his translation he had this testimony, that he pleased Yahweh.
So he believed and he did something. He pleased. See, it's always a 2-part thing. It's not a 1-part thing. Some people just believe it in the head. That's not good enough. You got to put feet to it. And our feet is hands up, quote your scripture. See, now we're controlling the outcome. Watch, we'll see how they control the outcome. Keep reading.
But without faith it is impossible to please him. For he that comes to Yahweh must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him.
See, without faith, without these 2 joined together, we get nothing from him. But once we learn to do this, hands up, quote a scripture, the power flows. All right?
By faith, Noah, being warned of Yahweh of things not yet as seen, moved with fear, prepared an ark to the saving of his house, by the which he condemned the world and became heir of the righteousness which is by faith.
See how when Noah walked in faith, what did he do? He controlled the outcome. What was the outcome? That his family would be saved from the flood by faith and works. He believed what Yahweh told him to do, and he got a hammer and went to doing something about it. He controlled the outcome. See this? See how this works? See, we're connecting the dots, because sometimes faith seems mysterious, but he's showing us tonight how to connect the dots. Keep reading.
By faith, Abraham, when he was called out, to go out into a place which he should after receive for an inheritance, obeyed. And he went out, not knowing where he went.
So here's Abraham. He didn't know where Canaan's land was. He'd never been out Ur Chaldees that I know of. When the father told him, if you go here, I'll make you a father of many nations, and I'll bless you, and all this land I'll give you. So Abraham believed and walked in faith, and that controlled the. See how this works? Abraham believed, and then he and he controlled the outcome. Because one scripture says, when Abraham came out of Egypt, he was what? Very rich in cattle and sheep and herds and servants and all of that. He controlled the outcome. That's why it's so, yes, ma'am. Microphone.
There's a pattern in that I just noticed, because whenever a Hebrew comes out of Egypt, they're very wealthy.
Very wealthy. See, but they have to do something. See, this is why this is so important. We need to get this down tonight. If you don't understand anything else tonight, understand how this works. The world raises their hands after the outcome. We raise our hands to control the outcome. Abraham told this king, I don't want nothing from you. I have lifted my hands to what? Yahweh. He controlled the outcome. Noah controlled the outcome. Enoch controlled the outcome. Abel controlled the outcome. Why? They believed and did something about it. We believe, raise our hands, we quote a scripture, we've just done something about it. Now we're controlling the outcome. I'll give you another perfect example. I've been dealing with these folks about a signal booster, things to make your cell phone work better in your house. It didn't work. And so we haggle about it. And so I told my wife, I said, let's box it up, send it back. I'm gonna raise my hands over this situation. Today, we got news that they sent back the full amount. Because usually they try to take pieces off of here and pieces off of there. But they say, I control the outcome by lifting my hands and saying, Yahweh, I thank you for this situation. I'll leave it in your hands, that I get a full refund. Tammy called them today. They said it was in the mail. See how this works? The world does it after. We do it to control the situation, to control the outcome. Keep reading. And this is called Faith Hall of Fame. This is how they all did it.
By faith he sojourned in the land of promise, as in a strange country, dwelling in tabernacles with Isaac and Jacob, the heirs with him of the same promise. For he looked for a city which has foundations, whose builder and maker is Yahweh. Through faith also Sarah herself received strength to conceive seed, and was delivered of a child when she was past age.
See, when Sarah believed, she controlled the outcome. Here comes this bouncing boy called Isaac. And Sarah says, wow, look at me, I'm 90 years old. But she had to believe and do something about it. I won't go into what she did, but grown-ups know, all right? So we see a pattern here. They're doing something to control the outcome. That's why when situations happen, get those hands up. It's important. I don't care how bad it looks, get the hands up. See, because our hand says, and our faith says, we want to control the outcome. Listen to this. How's it go? Go to, I can't quote it right now. Oh, here it is. Eye hath not seen, ear hath not heard, neither has it entered the heart of men what Yahweh has for them that love him. And how do we know we love him? We have controlled the outcome. Go to Revelations 22:14, I think.
All right, Revelations 22 and 14. Blessed are they that do his commandments, that they may have right to the tree of life and may enter in through the gates into the city.
Is that, sister, is that controlling the outcome? How? We kept his commandments. So the outcome is now I have turnkey. I can enter into the city and I can eat of the tree of life. We have controlled the outcome. This is what, that's why getting your hands up, quoting a scripture, say it is written, use whatever scripture you want to put in the blank. And in the name of Yahushua, now we're controlling the outcome. There's nothing funny about this, but you will see. Keep reading. This is how they did it. Hebrews chapter 11.
Therefore sprang there even of one, and him and as good as dead, so many as the stars of the sky in multitude, and as the sand which is by the seashore innumerable. These all died in faith, not having received the promises, but having seen them afar off, and were persuaded of them, and embraced them, and confessed that they were strangers and pilgrims on the earth. For they that say such things declare plainly that they seek a country. And truly, if they had been mindful of that country from whence they came out, they might have had opportunity to have returned. But now they desire a better country, that is, a heavenly one.
So Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Leah, and Rachel control the outcome. They're in Faith Hall of Fame. Why? Because they believed and they did something about it. See, we believe, we get our hands up, we give thanks, quote a scripture, in the name of Yahushua, it is written. Now we're controlling the outcome. Keep reading, you'll see the pattern here.
Wherefore Yahweh is not ashamed to be called their Elohim, for he has prepared for them a city. By faith Abraham, when he was tried, offered up Isaac, and he that had promised the promise, or received the promises, offered up his only begotten son, of whom it was said that in Isaac shall your seed be called, accounting that Yahweh was able to raise him up, even from the dead, from whence also he received him in a figure.
See why Abraham could raise the knife? Because his faith says, I control the outcome. Even if I take his life, my father is able to raise him back up again. And the father, seeing that faith, and he said, Abraham, Abraham, stay thy hand. Now I know that thou lovest Yahweh. And Abraham looked around, and what did he see? A ram in the bush. See how this thing works? We got to learn how to control the outcome. That's why this is so powerful. All right, keep reading.
By faith, Isaac blessed Jacob and Esau concerning things to come. By faith, Jacob, when he was dying, blessed both the sons of Joseph and worshiped leaning on the top of his staff. By faith, Joseph, when he died, made mention of the departing of the children of Israel and gave commandment concerning his bones.
We're in that Torah portion, right? Did Joseph control the outcome? See, he told them by faith, he said, in so many generations, y'all gonna get up out of here. You take my bones with you. And that's what happened. Even though he died approximately 290 years before that, or somewhere in there, he controlled his own, the outcome, didn't he? See, faith without works is dead. That's why we got to believe, get them hands up, quote a script, do something. Then we control the outcome. Keep reading.
By faith, Moses, when he was born, was hid 3 months of his parents, because they saw he was a proper child, and they were not afraid of the king's commandment.
See, they said, I know the king wants to kill him, but by faith, we're going to put this little boy in this little ark, and we're going to float him down the Nile River, and the father's going to take care of him. They controlled the outcome, didn't they? Because here comes Pharaoh's daughter and said, that looked like one of the little Hebrew boys. How did she know he was a little Hebrew boy? Circumcision. See, his mama controlled the outcome, and she controlled it so well. Pharaoh's daughter, Moses' sister Miriam, tells Pharaoh's daughter, do you want me to get his mama to take care of him? So who raised Moshe? His own mama. See how she controlled the outcome? See the pattern here? Keep reading.
By faith, Moses, when he had come to years, refused to be called the son of Pharaoh's daughter, choosing rather to suffer affliction with the people of Yahweh than to enjoy the pleasures of sin for a season.
So what if he'd enjoyed the pleasures of sin for a season? He wouldn't have controlled the outcome. So he refused it by faith. And he said, no, I'm an Israelite, and that's who I'm going to be with. Israelite. He controlled the outcome. Keep reading.
Esteeming the reproach of the Messiah greater riches than the treasures in Egypt, for he had respect unto the recompense of the reward. By faith he forsook Egypt, not fearing the wrath of the king, for he endured as seeing him who is invisible. Through faith he kept the Passover and the sprinkling of blood, lest he that destroyed the firstborn should touch them. By faith they passed through the Red Sea as by dry land, which the Egyptians, essaying to do, were drowned.
See, what Moses did controlled the outcome. When he offered that sacrifice and put the blood over the doorpost, that controlled the outcome. The death angel could not get to him. They had to go somewhere else, specifically the Egyptians' houses. See, by faith, they put the blood over the doorpost. They controlled the outcome. Are we getting this? It shouldn't be hard now. We're showing you pattern after pattern. This is how they did it. And if this worked for them, he's the same. It should work for us. We just got to do it by faith. See, here, let me show you something. There's going to be time thoughts arise and says, I don't know about that. Raise those hands and say, I've done the best I could. I raised my hands to Yahweh. That's the best we can do. Can't get no better than that. When we raise our hands to him, it's in his hands. It ain't in my hand. I'm raising my hand so he can control the outcome for me. How many see that? No matter what the situation is, I raise my hands. I finally retired from driving truck. This coming Thursday is going to be my last day. See, I've raised my hands. We got to do things the way the scriptures teach us. See, I'm not telling you, give me $1,000 and you have 10,000. That don't work. Although we need everybody to put some skin in the game, help us out, because lights don't stay on for free. Keep reading.
By faith, the walls of Jericho fell down after they were compassed about 7 days.
See, what did they tell them? Go around the city. There they are, walking by faith. What are they doing? They're controlling the outcome. Yes, ma'am.
That was Hebrews 11 and 30. We're still in the same chapter.
We're still in Hebrews. Okay. Now, what did we do? Where was that?
Jericho.
Yeah, they were walking around Jericho, and he told them, do it 7 days. What were they doing? Controlling the outcome. Yeah, that's controlling the outcome. When we listen to what the Father says to do, that controls the outcome. When he says, he that cometh to him must believe that he is, and he's rewarded them that diligently seek him by faith, that means he's going to help us control the outcome. So they kept walking around Jericho, and now you know them people were laughing. Look at them fool! They walking around the city. Here we is up in here, got a wall and everything. They just walking around the city. They didn't realize those people were controlling the outcome. On the seventh day, they walked 7 days, blew the horns. What happened? Walls came down. See how they control the outcome? How many's getting this? We need to get this. This will help us in our life. Abba's giving us some. This is deep stuff, but it's still simple. But yeah, it's so powerful. Remember I told you about Michael Baker? He said he tried it. And he said he got 2 storms in 1 day out of his way. See, lifting your hands, quoting a scripture, it is written, helps us control the outcome. Well, the world raises their hands after the outcome. We control our hands. We'll raise our hands to control the outcome. Keep reading.
All right, 11 and 31
It gets
says,
good now.
By faith, the harlot Rahab did not perish with them that didn't believe, when she had received the spies with peace. And what more shall I say?
All right, hold it right there. There's Rahab. She's in a strange country, but she heard. She said, I heard what your Abba, what Yahweh, what your Elohim has done to the Egyptians. And she says, I want to be with that bunch. I want to be with that bunch. And because she did, she controlled her outcome. She's in the book. She's in some of the one of the genealogies. Rahab and I forget who she was with, but anyway, Boaz. Yeah, Boaz's mother. Boaz, remember Boaz and Ruth? They had Jesse, and Jesse had David controlling the outcome. All right. Now listen to this. It really gets good here. And what shall I more say? For time would fail me to tell of Gideon. How did he control the outcome? The father said, Gideon, you got too many, boy. 30,000, I can't show my power. Y'all think y'all did it. So he said, I want all of them to go down to the river, to the bank, and get them a drink of water. And he knocked it down to 300. And the father told him, Gideon, get your lamps, get your sword, and I want you to say the sword of Yahuwah and the sword of Gideon, and break the lamps. And what happened? They won the battle. See how they control the outcome by being faithful to Yahweh, what he said. This is simple, but yet is really deep. But boy, is it powerful. All right. This is my favorite. Let me do it a little bit. For time would fail me to tell of Gideon and of Barak. What did he do? And of Samson and Jephthah and David and the prophets, who through faith subdued kingdoms, wrought righteousness, obtained promises. Wow. They control the outcome, didn't he? See, what did David say? He looked at a little Goliath. He read down, got him 5 smooth stones. Because Goliath had 4 more brothers. He said, if I have to, I'll take them all out. And he said, he told Goliath, you come to me with a sword and a stave, but I come to you in the name of Yahweh. He controlled the outcome. See how powerful this is? David controlled the outcome by what he said. Then he took that little beanie flip. Pow! He fell forward. See, that's how you can say, by faith, they did this. Who through faith subdued kings, wrought righteousness, obtained promises, stopped the mouths of lions. Out of weakness were made strong, waxed valiant in flight, turned to flight the armies of the enemies. Women received their dead, raised to life again. Others were tortured, not accepting deliverance, that they might attain a better resurrection. And others wandered around in goat skins and caves and dens of the earth. See, they control the outcome. Even those people that were tortured, they did not receive deliverance, that they might obtain what? A better resurrection. See how they control the outcome? Even in death, they control the outcome. How many see this? See how powerful this is? It's not, see, I know what the religious world wants you to make things hard, but we want babies to understand. That's what Yahushua said. How can I teach you heavenly things when you don't understand baby things? Paul said, some of you should be teachers, but you're yet what? Babes. See? And when Yahushua was teaching, he said, the kingdom of heaven is what? Bring that little baby here. Because the little baby is humble and teachable. See, never stop learning. The only time I want to stop learning is when y'all throw the dirt over me. Then it's time for me to stop. See, but look how powerful this is. Hands up. The world does it after the outcome. We do it to control the outcome. See, how many see the pattern here? David and the prophets. Look at Eliyahu. Let's talk about Eliyahu for a minute. I think it's 1 Kings 18 where he's with the prophets of Baal, where he was laughing at them. First Kings 18 or 19, somewhere there in there.
Yeah, that's where she sent the 400.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Start reading.
All right, so 1 Kings 18, beginning in verse 17. And it came to pass when Ahab saw Eliyahu, that Ahab said to him, Are you him that troubles Israel? And he answered, I've not troubled Israel, but you and your father's house, in that you've forsaken the commandments of Yahweh, and has followed Baalim. Now therefore send and gather to me all Israel unto Mount Carmel, and the prophets of Baal 450, and the prophets of the groves 400, which eat at Jezebel's table.
So how many does that make? 850 against 1. Who controlled the outcome? The one. Keep reading.
So Ahab sent unto all the children of Israel, and gathered the prophets together unto Mount Carmel. And Eliyahu came unto all the people and said, How long will you halt between two opinions? If Yahweh is Elohim, follow him. But if it's Baal, then follow him. And the people did not answer him a word.
So Elijah said, Get your act together. See? If Yahoo is who he say he is, let's follow him. But if Baal is the one, follow him. See, but I'm like Joshua. As for me and my house, we're going to serve Yahweh. See? All right, keep reading.
All right, verse 22 says, Then said Eliyahu unto the people, I, even I, only remain a prophet of Yahweh, but Baal's prophets are 450 men. Let them therefore give us 2 bullocks, and let them choose 1 bullock for themselves and cut it in pieces, and lay it on wood and put no fire under it. And I will dress the other bullock and lay it on wood and put no fire under.
Now listen to this. You're going to see the world trying to control the outcome. And what happened? Nothing. All right, keep reading.
All right, verse 24. And call on the name of your Elohim, and I will call on the name of Yahweh. And the Elohim that answers by fire, let him be Elohim. And all the people answered and said, It is well spoken. And Eliyahu said to the prophets of Baal, Choose 1 bullock for yourself and dress it first, for you are many, and call on the name of your Elohim, but do not put any fire under it. And they took the bullock which was given them, and they dressed it, and called on the name of Baal from morning even until noon, saying, O Baal, hear us. But there was no voice, nor any that answered, and they leaped upon the altar which was made.
Now listen to what Eliyahu get to making fun of.
And it came to pass at noon that Eliyahu mocked them and said, Cry loudly, for he is an Elohim. Either he's talking, or maybe he's pursuing, or he's on a journey, or maybe he's asleep and he must be woken up. And they cried aloud and cut themselves after their manner with knives and lancets until the blood gushed out upon them. And it came to pass when midday was past, and they prophesied until the time of the evening sacrifice, and there was no voice, nor any to answer, nor any that regarded. And Eliyahu said unto all the people, Come near unto me. And all the people came near, and he repaired the altar of Yahweh that was broken down. And Eliyahu took 12 stones, according to the number of the tribes of the sons of Jacob, unto whom the word of Yahweh came, saying, Israel shall be thy name. And with the stones he built an altar in the name of Yahweh, and he made a trench around the altar, as great as would contain 2 measures of seed. And he put the wood in order, and cut the bullock in pieces, and laid him on the wood, and said, Fill 4 barrels with water, and pour it on the burnt sacrifice and on the wood. And he said, do it the second time. And they did it the second time. And he said, do it the third time. And they did it the third time. And the water ran round about the altar and filled the trench also with water.
Look what Eliyahu's doing. He says, oh, he's telling those 850, he says, I want to show you who controls the outcome. He says, I want you to put water around this thing. So you know something supernatural finna happen. That's what faith is, something supernatural. That's why he said we shall be what? Above and not beneath. When we're walking by faith, we are above. And that's when we begin to control the outcome. Read the whole Bible. When they walk by faith, they control the outcome. We just read it in Hebrews. Look at all those people who through faith subdued kingdoms, wrought righteousness, attained promises, stopped the mouths of lions, quenched the violence of fire. Talking about Daniel with the lions, the violence of fire of the Hebrew boys and all of that. What did they do? They said, oh, king, we ain't careful about what you're doing because we serve the true and living hell. What were they doing? They were controlling the outcome. And who showed up? Oh, Nebuchadnezzar says, didn't we put 3 in there? I think there'd be 4 in there now. And that 4th one, he looked like the son of Elohim. And they said their clothes weren't burnt, neither was the smell of fire upon them. They control the outcome, didn't they? See what faith does? It controls the outcome. We don't want to be like the world after the fact. We want to do ours to control the fact. That's what they done. All right, so let's keep going with Eliyahu.
And it came to pass, this is verse 36, and it came to pass at the time of the offering of the evening sacrifice that Eliyahu the prophet came near. And he said, Yahweh, Elohim of Abraham, Isaac, and of Israel, let it be known this day that you are Elohim in Israel, and that I'm your servant, and that I've done all these things at your word.
Listen to what Eliyahu's saying. See, and that's why we have to remember. In this case, it takes 3. He's the El of Abraham. Not just Abraham, because Abraham also had Ishmael and a bunch of other sons. Not only Isaac, because Isaac had Esau, but Jacob had the 12 sons of Israel. So it always has to be Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You can't stop before that, because if you do, you got a mixture. And so that's why the father is always saying, I am the El of your fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And that lets us know he's the El of Israel. All right, keep reading.
Hear me, O Yahweh, hear me, that this people may know that you are Yahweh Elohim, and that you have turned their heart back again. Then the fire of Yahweh fell and consumed the burnt sacrifice, and the wood, and the stones, and the dust, and it licked up the water that was in the trench. And when all the people saw it, they fell on their faces, and they said, Yahweh, he is the Elohim. Yahweh, he is the Elohim.
See how Eliyahu controlled the outcome. He let them go first because he knew. See, so many people want to be first. Don't worry about being first. Worry about the outcome. I shouldn't say worry, be concerned with the outcome. The end is what we're after. And so Eliyahu said, yeah, boys, y'all go ahead. Y'all 850, I'm just go ahead. Because he knew they were serving a dead deity. See, they can't hear, they can't smell, they can't see, they can't talk, they can't reach out and help you. And they all must be born or carried around. But Eliyahu says, watch me control the outcome. And he prayed the prayer. Father, I want you and them to know that I'm your servant. And when he said that, something supernatural happened. Fire came down and consumed the sacrifice. He controlled the outcome. And that's what faith is about, controlling the outcome. And when those thoughts arise in your heart, you got to go back and say, I have raised my hands to the Father. Get rid of that fear, because fear stops you in your tracks. Doubt stops you in your tracks. Murmuring and complaining stops you in your tracks. How many see that? And so all these people control their outcome by faith. We've learned to raise our hands in faith, quote a scripture, and watch Yahweh work. See, hands up, the power. Hands down. But I have a caveat. Just hold your peace. Just hold your peace, brother. This is my story. Let me tell it, all right? See, I'm not gonna give you nothing no more. I'm gonna leave you in the dark. If you got to ruin it for me. But there is one time we can let our hands down and the power flows. When is it?
I can't answer.
No, you can't answer. You
Well,
can't
if
answer.
there's any consolation, I can't answer it either.
You can't. All right, I'll give you a perfect example. Peter, he was walking the water. He said, Master, if you be Yahushua, bid me to come on the water. He was walking the water. And what happened? Took his eyes off the prize and he began to look. And he began to sink. What did he do next? Master, help me. What did Yahushua's hands do? They came down and helped Peter up. So the only time we can legally put our hands down and the power still flows is when we're trying to pick somebody up. Powerful, isn't it? This is good stuff. Find the scripture says, lift up hands that are held down. I think it's Paul said it. But that's the only time we can legally put our hands down and the power still flows is when we're trying to lift somebody up. Awesome, isn't it? Ruach giving us some good stuff now. See, that's the only time when we're trying to lift somebody up. We can reach down and the power still flows because he said, remember the widow, the stranger, the fatherless, and the poor. We're helping them up. Did you see it? Okay. Yeah, that's yeah.
All right, Hebrews 12:12. Wherefore lift up the hands which hang down and the feeble knees.
See, he don't want our hands down. We shouldn't be walking around. Some folks you say, if I didn't have no bad luck, I would have no luck at all. We ain't got luck. We blessed the curse. We're one or the other. We ain't luck is from who? Satan. We don't want luck. We want the blessings. Get them hands up. And so when you see somebody who's down, help them to get back up. It's legal to let your hands down and raise them back up. Power still flows. That's the caveat. The hands down. This is awesome. What the Ruach is giving us to help us in our journey. See, this stuff we can use every day. We don't have to wait till tomorrow. Some of them may use it before we get out here tonight. See, get them hands up because this helps us control the outcome. You see, read Hebrews chapter 11. You see the outcome of all those walking by faith and works. We're doing like this. And we're quoting a scripture. It is written. And everything give thanks. This is the will of Yahweh and Mashiach, Yahushua concerning us. Remember I told you about I was in Alexandria, and it was raining cats and dogs. And I lift my hands up. And I quoted the scripture. And I said, Father, I thank you for the rain, but can you help me out so I can change these trailers? I did it twice. And I got the pictures of the second time. So get them hands up. This is how we control. That's how they control the outcome. That's what the Bible is all about. They walk by faith and they control the outcome. Yahushua, by faith, he walked to that stake. They were saying, come down if you be the son of Elohim. He didn't pay no attention. Why? Because he's walking by faith. He's controlling the outcome. Go to Philippians 2:7. Start there.
All right, Philippians 2, beginning in verse 7. But made of himself no reputation, and took upon him the form of a servant, and was made in the likeness of men. And being found in fashion as a man, he humbled himself and became obedient unto death, even the death of the stake. Wherefore Yahweh has highly exalted him, and given him a name which is above every name, that at the name of Yahushua every knee should bow, of things in heaven, things in earth, and things under the earth.
See, even at the stake, he was controlling the outcome. Because the scripture in 1 Corinthians 2:8, I think, it says, had they known, they would have never impaled the master of glory. He controlled the outcome, even on the stake. See, even when they're putting this to us, we can still control the outcome. Look what he did. And the scripture says, wherefore Yahweh highly exalted and given a name above every name. At the name of Yahushua, every knee is going to bow, every tongue is going to confess that Yahushua is the master to the glory of Abba, Yahweh. See that? Even on the stake, he controlled the outcome. That's how powerful it is. So let's remember, see, that's why he gave us the Bible. It's our examples of what to do and what not to do. Murmuring and complaining is what we should not do. You need to run away from it. Or fear, doubt, unbelief. You need to get them hands up and quote your scripture. And in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach, it is written, Yahweh did not give us a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. Now we're doing what? Controlling the outcome. That fear's got to get up and get out of here. How many see this? I promise you, this is going to help you. This will help you in your everyday walk of life. So, when can we legally put our hands down? To help somebody. Not only to help lift them up. So, don't be afraid to help somebody. Okay? Yes, sir?
I just had a question on it says in Philippians 2:11. It says in Philippians 2:11, and every tongue shall confess that Yahushua Mashiach is master to the esteem of Elohim the Father. When it says to the esteem of Elohim the Father, what does that mean?
Glory.
The glory, okay. Okay.
So it just means that the Father is honored by them bowing their knee and confessing to this Son, who he says, I am well pleased.
Okay.
So that gives the Father honor.
Right.
you.
It's to the honor or the recognition, or any of these synonyms will work. Right. For the Father. It's the Father gaining praise through his Son.
Now you understand. Now you should understand the scripture in Isaiah 46:10. He told the end from the beginning. He controlled the outcome. And he says, y'all need to learn to do it like I did. Learn to control the outcome. Because there's some places we need to pick up our game. We're slacking. Okay? Let's remember this. See, I'm here to help you. I'm not trying to hurt anybody. But if I hurt you, you know I'm trying to help you. Correct? Because I love all of you. And if I could, I'd give you all a big hug, but my arms ain't that big. So, all right, sir.
You give me it's probably a stupid question, but one example of how to beat complaining and murmuring, please. Like one example of,
Okay.
for somebody
Go
like me.
to Philippians 4, and I think it's 7 or 8, where it says, think on these things. 8. Listen to this.
Philippians 4:8 says, finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good report, if there be any virtue and if there be any praise, think on these things.
Start thinking on the good side. Get them hands up and says, it is written, this is the day Yahuwah has made. I will rejoice and be glad therein.
Well, it's kind of like what you were saying, Rebbe, when you were trying to change out them trailers, and you was like, Father, I thank you for the rain, but if it be possible.
I did. Yeah. See, it says, think on these things. These negative things won't get nothing from the Father. See, that's why you got to get up them hands up and start thanking him for even whatever the situation is. Just start thanking him and say, Father, I thank you for this situation. I'll leave it in your hands. My hands is raised to you. We can't do any better than that. When Yahushua left his disciples, what did he do? He lifted his hands and blessed them and got out of there. I'm telling you how powerful lifting your hands are. Okay? So I hope everybody got something out of this tonight. And remember, stop taking things so personal. Don't do that. It's a bad thing. It makes you feel bad and other people feel bad. And when people are not after you because who you are, they're after you because what you're doing is not working. Remember, I'm a guitar player. And sometimes I'm in there thinking, yeah, I got it. And Robert says, it ain't working, brother. Little Willie want to come up. No, I said, okay, I'll try something different. Because I know he's trying to get the best out of me. That's all he wants is the best. He wants the best. He wants it to sound the best, to be the best. That's all he's after. And I give him that leeway because I want the best. See, sometimes it hurts when you, and you think, hey, and he's not, ain't working. No. See, but don't be afraid of constructive criticism.
You know, Rebbe, years ago, I had a boss, guy I really respect, great guy, and we had an audit there, and it wasn't going well, and I was very upset because I felt like I had failed, you know, in my job and all. And he pulled me off to the side and he said, "Can I tell you something?" I said, "Yes, sir. What is it?" He said, "Man, look," he said, "don't take this personal." He said, "This isn't about you." He said, "It's about a failure in our system."
Correct.
And he said, "Here's what we do." He said, "Don't look at it as it's your fault."
Yeah.
He said, "Look at every one of these things that he finds that's not right. Look at those as opportunities to improve."
Correct.
He said, "And then when you do that," he told me, he said, "when you do that, you'll be a lot happier and things will go a lot smoother."
I raise my hands to that one and I rest my case. Abba Yahuwah, we bless you today. We thank you for your mercy and your grace. And we thank you for the Ruach giving us such great teachings that we can use in our everyday walk of life. Shem Yahushua. Amen.